So here's the things that they typically don't want you to know. Not all conversions are created equal. You're getting a ton of irrelevant clicks. Good, strong ad copy that properly speaks to the person who's searching and talks about what they were searching for and gets them to click on your ad with intent. That is the secret sauce to a good pay-per-click ad campaign, and most large vendors are not writing good ad copy because it simply takes too much work. Your competitors are stealing a lot of your traffic. Is that your click-through rates right now are weak. We go into a lot of client accounts where we're essentially taking a look at what they've been spending on pay-per-click advertising, and we just do an analysis, sort of a consultation, and we're able to immediately save them about 35% of their budget because their budget was being sent to irrelevant clicks and was targeting sort of the wrong things. And usually that is because the current vendor was just not managing the budget appropriately and not paying the right amount of attention to the account. So here's the things that they typically don't want you to know. Not all conversions are created equal. If you're using a vendor right now, they're probably giving you a report at the end of every month that tells you how many clicks you got, how much you spent, and how many conversions you got. But be careful of that conversion number. Conversion can be a form submission, a phone call, click to chat if you have chat on your website. These are all things that are valuable conversions. They're client interactions. But there's many vendors that'll count other things as conversions. For instance, if a searcher spends more than 60 seconds on your site, there's a lot of people that have that set up as a conversion. That's not a conversion, but they might be using that and counting that in their metrics that they show to you at the end of the month. Look, you got a 25% conversion rate. Well, but that's not those aren't real conversions, right? But they won't necessarily tell you that unless you ask them, hey, what actually represents a conversion for the purposes of this report? And a lot of times they don't want to tell you because if you start to get into the nitty-gritty about what a conversion is, the numbers don't look quite as good. You're getting a ton of irrelevant clicks. Many times when we go and we look at an account and we see the actual search terms, the things that are actually being searched in order to produce the client's ad and generate that click, the actual search term is completely irrelevant to what the client does. I'll give you an example. I work with an electrician, and before I took over on his Google Adwords account, he had about 50% of his clicks being generated from the word electricity. The person was actually typing electricity into their browser and clicking on his ad. Well, electricity and electrician are two different things, but people will click your paid ad anyways and you'll pay for that click, but it's not relevant to you. That's something that you really need to watch out for because your vendor may not share with you the actual search terms that are being conducted to generate the click on your ad, which means that you're spending a lot of money on irrelevant clicks from people that are never going to buy your product. So that's usually one of the first things that we look at is what things are actually being searched in order to trigger the ad. Something else that your vendor probably doesn't want you to know about your pay-per-click account is that your ad copy is old and boring and stale. Why? Because they probably haven't refreshed it in months. You're probably running the same generic ads that all of your competitors are running too, and there's nothing special about them, which is why your click-through rates are probably dropping, your costs per click are going up, your cost per conversion is going up, and sales are probably suffering. Good, strong ad copy that properly speaks to the person who's searching and talks about what they were searching for and gets them to click on your ad with intent. That is the secret sauce to a good pay-per-click ad campaign, and most large vendors are not writing good ad copy because it simply takes too much work. So if you're not able to either A, write your own ad copy, or B, have a high amount of input over what your ads are on a weekly and monthly basis, then you are probably spending way more money than you need to be, or worse, you're spending a ton of money and you're not getting the results that you should be getting. Something else your current pay-per-click vendor is probably not telling you is that your competitors are stealing a lot of your traffic. So if you're running pay-per-click campaigns and your competitors are also running pay-per-click campaigns, they're probably trying to set it up so that they show up above your website. There are some key ways that you can circumvent that, shortcut that, and lessen the effect of that so that they can't steal anywhere near as much of your traffic as possible. Something else your current pay-per-click provider doesn't want you to know is that your click-through rates right now are weak. So many times a pay-per-click vendor will say to you, hey, your click-through rate of 2.5%, that's right around the average. That's where we like to see it. Even if it's a 3% click-through rate, geez, that's a better than average click-through rate. Let me tell you right now, that is not a good click-through rate. If you have good, strong ad copy and your ads are properly structured so that they accurately reflect what's really being searched in Google, then you should be able to get click-through rates of 5, 6, 7, 8%. We're doing it for our clients all the time. And with good, strong click-through rates, you're going to see lower costs per click, lower costs per conversion, and at the end of the day, your budget is going to be spent more appropriately to drive more leads and more sales into your business. So click-through rate is everything. And unfortunately, most businesses are settling for average or lower than average click-through rates. So if you're interested in knowing more and you want to find out if you're overpaying for Google AdWords, missing opportunities, or maybe just trying to get validation that, hey, things are actually going really well, things are being run appropriately, then just get in touch with us. You can shoot us an email or just put a message underneath this video and we'll reach right out to you and we'll get the conversation going and provide you with some help.